I'm here today to share some insights into the digestive system, our digestive system, and the role that aromatic plants can play in supporting our digestive system. The digestive system itself is one of the major axes of health and vitality. If the digestion is not healthy, the body is not healthy. And this makes a lot of sense when we think about how, the main role of our digestive system is to extract the nutrients that our body needs in order to function well. This is what digestion is for, right? And this takes up a lot of room. And you think about all of the different body systems that we have to get us around this planet. We think about all of the organs that we carry in our bodies. The digestive system takes up a lot of room. There's a lot of different organs that are involved, from the esophagus to the stomach, from the stomach to the small intestine, which is very large. And from there we go to the large intestine, right? So, and then out, the rectum and the evacuation through this is a huge system. We also have the pancreas that is involved. We have the liver and the gallbladder that are involved. And so this is there is a lot of tissue and a lot of energy and a lot of space dedicated to this one function, which is breaking down food into tiny molecules that your body can then absorb and utilize to be healthy and well. Most aromatic plants, right? Just the fact that they are aromatic and have an aroma and have essential oil and volatile oil in them. Most of them are going to have some sort of digestive prowess, regardless of their genera or their species. And most of them have very obvious digestive actions, which makes all aromatic plants very similar, but they're also very nuanced in their support. So what makes the aromatic plants nuanced? So, what makes a fennel different than a mint, right? Which is different than a lemon balm, which we have here, or different than a sage, or different than a ginger. In many ways, I think an easy way to start thinking about it is in regard to the spectrum of warmth or heat that particular plant provides in its energetics. So from like gently warm and even slightly cool or neutral to really hot and spicy, right? This is kind of a spectrum of warmth that the aromatic plants bring. And so that's one way that we can sort of call them out as nuanced, right? And also then a level of the spectrum of sort of stimulation versus relaxation that they provide. So some aromatic plants are more stimulating and create more activity, while others are more, even though they're stimulating and create activity, they're more focused on more prowess, but they're better at relaxing tissues, right? And creating a relaxation, which is sort of an opposite of a stimulation. The individual's nature is also, and their digestive system and their constitution, these are also sort of nuances that would help you choose one aromatic over the other. There are some sort of overview actions from aromatic plants that are really super relevant to the digestive system. And so I wanted to share some of those with you. And so the first action is this idea of being an antispasmodic or relaxing, right? And so where there is tension, and specifically tension in the musculature, and also potentially tension in the musculature because of something going on in the nervous system, we have spasm, right? We have tension in the gut, and we have irritability. And so one of the things that many aromatic plants are very good at is sort of relaxing that spasm, right? So this idea of antispasmodic or this relaxing action. There's a branch of the nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system that governs over digestion, right? So the parasympathetic is the rest and digest switch of our nervous system. The other side of that switch is our fight or flight, right? Or the sympathetic nervous system. So when we are running from lions and tigers and bears, or out fighting our battles in the world with high adrenaline, as we are most of the time for most people, basically the nervous system, it shuts off a lot of attention to the digestion, and basically digestion gets shut down so that the body can focus on, blood flow and survival to the major organs like the heart and the brain and the lungs and the muscles, right? The things that can help you kind of run away or fight your battles. So when we are in fight or flight, our digestive system is basically turned off for the most part. It is only when we are in a restful state, right? When we are able to get into parasympathetic state that our digestion is able to actually do the work it's meant to do. One of the roles that aromatic medicine can play in supporting our nervous system is even through the suggestion of relaxation and finding aromas, like the sage here or the lemon balm that, can provide us with an opportunity to transition out of stressful moments and focus on the restfulness piece, right? So aromatics can bring us, I think, with their engagement with the emotional realm, even with their the capacity for them to promote relaxation in the body, if we drink them as a tea or we take it as a tincture or something like that, where we can suggest parasympathetic. We can say, okay, we're not running from lions and tigers and bears. I'm smelling this lemon balm right now. Everything's okay. I can kind of get into sort of rest and digest mode while I'm eating. And so I think that we can make the suggestion with aromatic herbs, whether we're doing it through inhalation or doing it through our cups of tea or whatever, to promote relaxation and to promote that parasympathetic dominance that we need. The other thing that many aromatic plants do, could argue all aromatic plants do, is that they stimulate digestive secretions. So your saliva, secretions from your pancreas, which help with regulation of blood sugar, but more specifically into the tract itself, which are enzymes that help break fats down and sugars down. And then, of course, we have the bile that comes from the liver and the gallbladder as well. And so aromatic plants can help stimulate the secretion of these digestive juices, which are required for the chemical breakdown of the nutrients and the foodstuffs that we consume. They also can encourage appetite as well, and part of that has to do with their capacity to stimulate digestive juices. And that action of stimulating digestive juices can often get a person's appetite going. Aromatic plants can really help to sort of encourage peristalsis in the digestive system. And this is that rhythmic pulsing of the muscles that not only help in sort of churning the food around, but also help propel the food through the digestive tract. And it's not just like a tube that goes down one direction. This is, the small intestine is like all looped around in all different ways. And by the time you get to the large bowel, it even has to go up and then over and then down again. And so peristalsis helps propel what's called the bolus, and then which becomes the chyle. It helps produce or to move that through the system. And so this is a really big part of the mechanical piece of digestion. Other things that aromatic plants do kind of in totality that are really great, they can help expel excess gas, especially gas that's kind of trapped in places. And again, part of that has to do with their stimulating activity and their capacity to help with that peristalsis and get the gut motility going, so that the actual intestines itself can kind of push the air out in either direction. Aromatic plants can also assist in sort of microbial balance in the gastrointestinal tract. And so I think about this much more in the sense of not being antibiotic or antimicrobial. I think that's too simple of a way of looking at it. But these compounds have the capacity to go in and support healthy ecology of all of the different species of microorganisms that we do have living in our guts that we need, in order for us to be healthy. So we can also, think about bringing in aromatic plants when we have some dysbiosis or when we're trying to support gut health in general and a healthy, vibrant sort of microbial ecosystem inside our gut. So many aromatic plants have this capacity. Another thing that they do is, sort of raise digestive fire. And when we're talking about digestive fire, I'm going to dive into this a little bit more specifically. I'm not talking necessarily about increasing sensations of heat, right? We're talking about raising digestive fire. This is about fine-tuning the efficiency of the digestive system to break down food. When we're thinking about this idea of digestive fire, I think some people can get a little freaked out, especially if you're the kind of person that, struggles with reflux and heartburn and things that feel hot. When we're talking about raising the digestive fire, we're not necessarily talking about exacerbating things like acid, right? Or things like heartburn or making things worse. In fact, in a lot of cases, not all cases, but in a lot of cases, reflux and GERD and heartburn are actually a sign that the digestive system is struggling and is depleted in some kind of way. And so that the fires are actually, the proverbial fires or metaphorical fires are actually pretty low, and the body is really struggling to rev up the engines enough to actually combust that food properly. So this idea of maintaining and raising and strengthening the digestive fire or the agni is not necessarily about making things feel hotter, right? It's about turning up the efficiency of that combustion. And that's exactly what the digestive system is. And in fact, I often liken the digestive system to the copper still, like the one that's behind me here, where we have this sort of the heat underneath. We have the plant material in the pot. And with that heat, the water passes through the plant material, captures that plant material and all of the aromatics in that plant material, and then transforms it through the system, through that long swan neck, into hydrosol and essential oil. And so you start off with one substance at the beginning of the system, and you end up with another at the other end. And so for me, digestion is very alchemical. It has a lot of alchemical sort of nuances to it. And it is very much about transforming our food. So one of the last things that I feel like, aromatic plants are really great at is not only helping with the sort of breaking down and the secreting of juices and the mechanical parts of digestion and all of that good stuff, but they also can help with the assimilation of nutrients as well. And this is why we find a lot in, the culinary arts that we're often using aromatic plants for flavoring. But I think that the relationship between food and aromatic plants is very, very old. And it wasn't always just about, oh, that tastes good. It's also been about, wow, that is very helpful for digesting this and getting the most out of this food stuff. So that's kind of an introduction to, how aromatic plants in a big genre all tend to have some sort of digestive affinity, all right? And a lot of this has to do, as I mentioned, with the fact that they are aromatic, that they have essential oil or volatile oil components in them, and that these components can act very proactively in the digestive system.